From Television City in Hollywood, it's the Carol Burnett Show.
There was a time when staying home on Saturday nights wasn't an indictment of your social life, because America had a standing date with Carol Burnett. For more than a decade, the Carol Burnett Show was on in almost every household with a TV. It's still regarded as one of the most beloved variety shows ever.
Oh, if only I could show it to you.
You show me your shape, I'll show you mine.
Remarkable, given that when she first auditioned to be on television, no one, not even Carol Burnett herself,
Oh, he makes me laugh sometimes.
believed she'd ever really be a good fit.
The guy who was casting said, "You're too big for television.
You're too
You're
big?
too loud. You're too,
Just too...
yeah."
At almost 80 years old, she hasn't lost any of that larger-than-life charm.
Are you still working?
Who else could interrupt a taping of The Bold and the Beautiful
Oh, for gosh. Are you? What are you doing here? You must be working. Hello, baby.
and still get such a warm welcome?
Ladies and gentlemen, Carol Burnett.
I used to bet the crew that I could change faster than they could move a sofa.
It's been more than 30 years since her show went off the air here at TV City in Hollywood.
Here's where we were, Studio 33. This was our big stage.
Her old home is now the home
yeah,
of The Price is Right.
The ghosts of Christmas past. This is the best studio in town as far as doing sketches or music, because you're right there with the audience.
Turn up the lights.
She was especially close to her audience.
What's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is Paul Newman.
Her Q&A sessions made her seem less like a star and more like a friend, always aiming to please.
Oh, I needed a pair.
But out of all the seats in the house, this row meant the most.
They usually sit in these seats here.
That's where her three young daughters, Jody, Erin, and Carrie, all sat during rehearsals.
Oh, they recovered.
Well, that's nice. You sort of hope so, right?
I think so.
She laughs now, but those seats weren't always filled with smiles. Carrie, her oldest, descended into a world of drug addiction, what People magazine at the time called Carol Burnett's nightmare.
I didn't give up on her. At times, we weren't speaking. At one point, I said I have to love her enough to let her hate me.
But Carrie got clean and didn't hate her mother. She actually followed in her footsteps. Carrie became a writer and an actress herself,
It's the luck of the draw.
even appearing opposite her mother.
Maybe you're right.
I know I'm right. I've been there.
But not for long.
She was on her way, so to speak, when she got sick.
In 2001, Carrie learned she had cancer. What happened next is the subject of Burnett's latest book, Carrie and Me, out this week.
We all went through disbelief, shock, then you get angry, then scared, and so they were hoping that they might save one lung, but then it went up to her brain.
Carrie died at just 38 years old.
You never get over it, but I've learned to cope.
Because you have no choice.
You have no other choice.
It was hardly her first bout with addiction and loss. Carol Burnett grew up in the midst of all of it, always making the best of it.
Daddy was like a drunk Jimmy Stewart.
A kinder, gentler drunk?
Oh, he was sweet, but unfortunately he couldn't hold a job. He couldn't, he had the disease. And then Mama, she started to drink in her 30s, and then she became an alcoholic also. So they both died in their 40s.
She was raised by her grandmother, first in Texas, where Burnett was born, then in Hollywood, where they shared a one-room apartment. They lived on government assistance. Their only escape was the movies.
Nanny would save up her pennies, and at times, I think sometimes I would see maybe 8 movies a week.
She never thought she'd be a star herself. She actually wanted to be a writer. So she enrolled at UCLA, but found herself playing a hillbilly in the theater arts program. And on her first night on stage, everything changed.
All I said was, "I'm back," and everybody laughed. And I thought, whoa, I like this feeling. I really like this feeling.
That feeling took her to Broadway.
I've always been shy. I confess that I'm shy.
There, she landed the starring role in Once Upon a Mattress.
Once I got out there and started to belt out the first number, I felt again like I'm back.
The small screen soon took notice, and before long, the woman once thought to be too big to be on TV was in fact becoming bigger than life. But when she wanted to lead her own variety show, she hit a ceiling, with one network executive telling her,
Variety is a man's game.
he said that to you.
Comedy variety really is a man's game. Gleason, Milton Berle, Sid Caesar.
Were you offended by that?
No, I wasn't, and I am now. But that was then.
Now, do you have any proof that you're my real that you're my... Do you have any proof?
She was determined to give the Carol Burnett show a live feel, even though it was taped.
We want it to feel dangerous, spontaneous.
Bravo, madam!
The result was genius. Some of the funniest moments were the unscripted moments, especially between Harvey Korman and Tim Conway.
Yeah, I'll be right with you.
We were never proud of cracking up, ever, and never did we mean to.
Really?
Harvey was furious at himself because he was such a fine actor, but all Tim would have to do would be to go like that at him and he'd be gone.
But few sketches stick to the funny bone quite like their parody of Gone with the Wind. First, there's the dress. And then there's the line.
The gown is gorgeous.
Thank you. I saw it in the window and I just couldn't resist it.
What did you think when you first saw that?
I fell on the floor. I laughed. It's in the Smithsonian now.
She, however, is no museum piece. Her comedic timing hasn't lost a beat.
Lovely
Can you
meeting
tell me how to do this? Because
Yes.
I'm having trouble with this one. Just hope
Well,
and pray for the best.
you know what? I would cut those too long.
Okay, she's cutting them. They're cut. Thanks, Carol.
Bye.
I'm so glad we had this time.
Those signature Carol Burnett goodbyes always did have a way of lingering. They still do, to this day.
Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Good night. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, what laughs we had.